That would be my statement, that there may be an omission of one kind or the other, but it doesn't mean that what we are bringing today should be disregarded in any way.
Okay. So this is not quite a court case, so I'm not going to engage you any further. I've put to you from our side what our understanding is from the evidence that's been led so far. You've given your version. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. Now, on the again, your engagement on the first. This was what is called a follow-up meeting, and I'm referring. Sorry, Honourable Chair, honourable members. Exhibit Bundle 4, the minister's follow-up meeting on HRM matters on the 1st of November, including the organizational structure. And the reference is at page 164 and following. And at that meeting, so again, firstly, this is not a focused meeting on the political killings task team. We accept that. This is perhaps a meeting where does the PKTT fit into the organizational structure? It is not about what have you been doing since your establishment? Has it been a success or not? Is it time to terminate it or not? This is just where it falls in. And this is then what you are recorded as saying, and it's on page 3 of 15 at the bottom. The minister indicated that there must be reconsideration and review of certain capabilities, such as the political killings task team, which are primarily about addressing serious crimes. He stated that SAPS should guard against creating structures or units based on specific category, which whilst these duplicate existing capabilities. Ministers directed that the presentation should have a narrative to the relationship between provincial commissioners and deputy national commissioners, and must explain their roles and their constitutional legislative imperative or composition. Then at the bottom of that page, General Masemola indicated that the matter of provincial commissioners was resolved some time ago, and that there's a dotted line to the deputy national commissioners. And then later on he says, he gave an example, he further explained the very last sentence on page 3, he further explained that a political killing capability that is in place in the form of a task team and not a fixed unit or establishment. So that minister appears to be the sum total of what was mentioned at the meeting and what was discussed. And then further to that, yesterday, you took us through this document on page 178, which is the organizational structure, which is this document that you took us through yesterday, that was also on the board. And it appears from this document that the political task team is not, it doesn't feature. It features under another category, murder and robbery and so on. So I think we need to round off on this point now. About you, we say not engaging, let alone consulting the National Commissioner and or Lieutenant General Kumalo, Lieutenant General Konazi on the political killings task team. Not at all. Or no. Are you just maintaining that you did?
No, do you want me to respond now?
Yes, just so that we can round off this topic.
I want to contest that, and I've contested that. I am saying there is evidence of discussions and decisions as from 2019 on the political killings task team. That was long time before I came. It took the form of a new organogram with specialized units in subs, which were meant to focus on specific issues regarding crime, fighting crime in South Africa that was in the offing at that time in the country, and a structure which was a change in terms of subs, was designed and it was put there following a study. It took some time before that study was completed or even that structure could then be implemented. But at some point, and in the process, there were then extensions on the work of the political killings task team. And it took that form. But there was already a view, a very strong view, that the political task team, National Political Killings Task Team, is a temporal structure. It's not a permanent feature in the Constitution, in the organogram. Even at that time, as early as that time, 2019, a year after the Political Killings Task Team was there, and long before I came. And then the structure was there. And then last year, we start discussing the organogram. And we pull up everything, all the things that I'm talking about. And we come up with the organizational structure. And this organizational structure bears features of what had been discussed in the work study from 2019 to a great extent. I even said, take note of the fact that the new structure that has been signed, which we started last year, has ORS. Take note of that. Separated now from VISPOL, and that's a new development. But they did say it was at one point there, but they did away with it. And I said, take note of the fact that we have removed the police inspectorate in the new organogram. And take note that there is political killings task team as a sub-unit in the new organogram, just like it had been recognized during the work study that you must have units now in a coordinated way. The signed organizational structure, if you have it now in the form that it is, but you keep the current structure, or you keep the team, the National Political Killings Task Team, you will irresponsibly overstretch your budget unnecessarily. That's one. You will duplicate functions within the organogram. 3, you will have people who will not be used or will not be utilized. Now, these are people called people within the serious and violent crimes unit, which has been created. And it will have an impression, it will also overlap to organized crime unit, which is there, but you still keep one other temporal structure outside the organogram, which is approved and which is budgeted for. And my argument is that it will not be responsible. It will not be rational to do so, because the structure already provides for that. And worse, it provides for that, including in the Eastern Cape, including in the Western Cape, including in Gauteng. not just KZN, the 4 provinces that are heavily affected by crime. So you won't have to take 10 people from KZN to go and assist in Gauteng. You will not have to have Fort Hare like incidents, and then you go and say, I'm borrowing people from KZN. Why would you do that? You will have a sustained and sustainable organizational structure operated by us at a national level. And to me, that makes sense, and it will work better. And the current budget that we are using for a separate, standalone national political killings task team will be infused and will be utilized and evenly distributed throughout the country. To me, it makes absolute sense to do so.
Okay.
And it is responsible to do so. Okay. And it will cater for our needs all over. And especially if you put in the new division that we're talking about to assist SAPS uniform, and to assist even the units that will be functioning in those 4 provinces. But the structure provides for functionality and existence of those units in all other provinces. And I'm saying to you, Central, we do not exist as South African police to just investigate incidents of killings for councillors. We don't. There is no such a mandate. SAPS has to serve everybody. Even if you've got to make sure that the resources of the country are used to the best of your ability to protect the people of South Africa, not a particular group of people. Not. It is not like that. And we've got to tackle this particular issue, that there are no better lives than the others who are equal in South Africa. So you can't have a task team solely dedicated to a particular grouping of people somewhere and not, if you have to have a taxi violence unit, it must be everywhere where there is tax violence. And this structure is designed to have just that. You're not going to have a structure for taxi people in Mpumalanga alone, and you say, whenever there's taxi violence in Western Cape and also, you will borrow people from there. And I'm saying I'm answering to the imperatives of the 7th administration, and that is what it says. And they're different from other imperatives in any other term. So I am here to share information and to the best of my ability, what I've come to understand in terms of my responsibilities, not just to justify what I found there, but to change and make things better. I'm not here to justify that which is there I'm not able to tamper with, even though I have power to do so for the betterment of the people of South Africa. I can't agree to that.
But do you accept, Minister, that even if or where you have the power, this huge responsible power,
yes,
to change things for the better of our country and for our citizens,
yes,
that you also have to consult with people before you exercise that power, the people who are directly affected when you exercise that power? For example, to shut down a political killings task team that our president thought in May 2018, not thought, he came here. He said the political killings, not because he was discriminating or treating killings in KZN different from killings elsewhere in the country. He said this has become a problem and I need a dedicated approach to resolve this problem. It does so. No, can I now speak? So this problem is addressed by the formation of a political task team. He appoints an interministerial committee. Now, we're not going to debate the legality, constitutionality of whether you could disband it or not. But there is the committee. Colleagues with you in your cabinet. Did you not think it was important to engage with them? There is absolutely no indication from your lawyer's notes, from your statement, from your oral evidence here yesterday and today, that you engage with them to say, colleagues, this is now weighing heavily on my mind. It's already heading towards the end of the year. I feel like writing a letter on the 31st of December. Can we discuss this? You discuss it with your deputy ministers, but you don't discuss it with your other ministers. Key players, Minister of Intelligence, Minister of Defense, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development. These are the ministers that form this group. So even if it's a political structure, and even if the task team, according to you, were acting under its direction and it was a political issue, even more reason why you should have consulted with them and engaged with them. Why didn't you?
Now, just a question first. Are you suggesting that we must ignore the meeting of the 1st and the meeting of the 22nd and remove it from my evidence, that it doesn't exist, even though I say it does exist?
I'm not going to remove anything.
Okay.
Whatever you have said here yesterday, whatever is on paper is part of our record, and it will be taken into account when an evaluation is made by me, by other honorable members of this committee. They, of course, have minds of their own. They're going to evaluate the evidence. I'm asking you a specific question, and I've directed you to the fact that there was this committee, this interministerial committee, and there's no indication from you on your evidence, not discarding anything else, that you had not engaged with your colleagues.
I am happy, Senior Counsel, that you recognize the meeting of the 1st of November. I am happy, Senior Counsel, that you recognize the meeting of the 22nd where these matters were raised. But in answer to you, there was no dedicated day. There was no dedicated meeting to discuss the National Political Killings Task Team before I wrote the letter of directives. But I am putting it that the directive does indicate the need for a meeting on the 20th of January, that is after